This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by ring legend Roy Jones Jr. here in London. Roy, how are you?
Doing well, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you finding your time over in the UK so far?
I always love my time here because these are some of the best fight fans in the world, so it's always a great privilege to be in a great environment.
A huge fight week ahead, a huge fight night ahead. Anthony Joshua, AlexanderUsyk. Roy has withdrawn ever closer. What's your take on their fight tomorrow night?
My take on the fight is, and I got to use a little bit of my my British accent, so my take on the fight is that, you know, I think Usyk is the better boxer, but Joshua is the better athlete. So he's a better athlete than Usyk, so the athleticism will help him down the line, but it'll be who's conditioned the best. Is Usyk conditioned enough to take the big punches from Joshua, or is Joshua conditioned enough that if he doesn't knock Usyk out, he can win an ugly fight with Usyk? So it'll be about whose conditioning is the best.
Anthony Joshua came in at 240 pounds earlier, 3 pounds heavier than the Ruiz 2 rematch. AlexanderUsyk 221, he's heaviest in his career so far. Do you read anything into those weights? Yeah,
what you read into those weights is that Joshua plans to bully Usyk. Usyk knew that, so Usyk picked up a lot of weight too. So, I mean, it won't mean a lot, but it all depends on what Joshua does, because this is what I always take into consideration. Joshua definitely is probably the least experienced of the two. So he don't have the mind game in the ring that Usyk has. When he got behind against Andi Ruiz the first time, he kind of gave up. So I hope that was something wrong with him, and that's not his real heart. Because if it is, then if he gets tough in this fight, he might give up again. Because once you give up once, it's kind of easy to give up again. So I don't know.
Roy, I spoke to Rob McCracken, Anthony's trainer, a couple of days ago, and he said it's important for Anthony to impose himself on AlexanderUsyk. Do you think that's going to be a key factor, especially in those early rounds?
Yeah, it is going to be a key factor, but see, this is my point. It's a key factor early, but if you impose your will and you don't get him early, now what you're going to do? Because you're going to be gassed. And you got to remember, this is the biggest you ever been. So when you go, you're gambling. Because if you don't get him, you might be in trouble.
What do you think Alexander's keys to victory will be?
Stretch the fight out, make it long. He's not a strong puncher. He's a numbers guy. He's a mathematician up here. He has to win with the numbers. He can't win with power. He got to win with numbers.
Fury-Wilder 3 is only 2 weeks on from this fight. Do you feel like Anthony, if he was to be successful, he'll have that in the back of his mind, he'll want to make a statement?
No, I think right now he has to focus on what he's doing, because if you underestimate this guy a little bit, you won't beat him. This guy's not a normal guy. This guy was the undisputed cruiserweight champion for a reason. It was a lot of people in that tournament he was in, some really good fighters. The Cuban Dorticas, Bredas, Gaisev. It was a lot of really good fighters in that tournament. He won that tournament. This is not a bump. This is a very highly educated opponent. And Joshua's not a bump. So Joshua's the bigger man, and like I say, he's a better athlete, and he may not be the better skilled of the two, but he is definitely the better athlete. So nobody can slip on their game tonight. Roy,
just on Fury-Wilder 3, what's your take on that 2 weeks out?
I know it's hard to say, because with boxing, you love these guys, you know what I mean? Wilder's cool. I mean, I like Fury better because I feel like Fury's a better boxer and has more tools. So I like his chances better, but Wilder's a puncher, and a puncher can change anything at any time. So I do like Fury better going into the fight, but like I said, Wilder's a real puncher. He's the best puncher in the heavyweight division. So that being said, anything can happen.
Just a few other topics I want to get your thoughts on before I let you go. Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant, I'm sure you saw a couple of days ago, a little bit of a heated exchange in their face-off. What did you make of it, Roy?
They're fighting. That's what it's supposed to be. They're not friends, they're fighters. Fighters are supposed to fight. So what you expect? The only thing my problem is that the people around both of them, how do you let them stay on the stage by themselves that long? How you let them push and walk back up on each other? That could have caused the whole fight. If that was me, that fight would be called off. Because my comeback, if you don't push me, I got to hit you now. Because you don't push me and we fighting in a couple months, or a month or 6 weeks, whatever, you better put your hands on me. We fight, when the fight starts when I see you.
Psychologically, What do either of those guys take away from it? If you're in Canelo's shoes or Caleb Plant, what are they thinking about it as time progresses towards November 6th when they do meet?
What does who take away?
Psychologically, what do you think either of those guys will take from it?
I don't really know. Canelo is where he wants to be because he pushed him first. He backed back and gave the counter, and now Caleb has to cut. So it's like Canelo's still the champ. Caleb, I don't know what his thought process is going to be, but in Canelo's mind, I'm still the man. I pushed him, he came back, and I touched him these two, and he got a cut now. So Canelo, like, I already won this.
Roy, also just want to get your thoughts on a sad stoppage defeat to see Evander Holyfield stopped in the first round against Vitor Belfort. What's your take on that fight and what happened?
Well, I mean, different strokes for different folks, you know. I was like, I thought they should have did an exhibition. They shouldn't have did a real fight. The problem was Vitor was expected to fight De La Hoya, and I think he had got ready for De La Hoya for real because De La Hoya was trying to come back in a sense. And so he didn't take it as an exhibition. They stuck Holyfield in saying it's going to be an exhibition. Holyfield had been training, probably he had been getting ready, but Holyfield's an old man now. You got to be ready. It takes a little bit longer to get ready. So it was a bad situation to me, a bad look on boxing, on sports, period, because that's not the way you want to see a real legend go out. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can't blame Belfort for it, but at the same time, you just have to do them like that.
Roy, seeing something like that, the fans, they love you, they love Mike when you come back, they love just that era of boxers, but seeing that happen to Evander, it certainly raised question marks about wanting to see yourself return. Has he put any doubt in your own mind whether you'd fight again?
That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's him, that's not me. I feel bad for him. I ain't gonna be trying to fight at that age, but I thought I looked okay against Mike, so I don't see mine being a problem yet. When I get to where I can't really do that, then nah, I'm gonna quit too. But I ain't trying to fight now. It's just that what I am is an opportunity. Great opportunity to come along, I gotta answer the opportunity, and I'm still capable of doing it right now. I just showed that against Tyson in November, but I'm not out here looking for nothing because why?
And then final one, then, with that in mind, when I was interviewing Carl Froch earlier, it was mentioned to me that you called him out on DAZN. Obviously, we was interviewing, so we never saw it. So can you just elaborate on that? Because Carl was there like, listen, if he wants it, he's been a little shy face-to-face.
Well, listen, we can do what we got to do. I was just, you know me, I have a good time. They get me amped up talking fights. I start talking. I'll say anything. Carl Froch is a good friend. And for us to do an exhibition, I don't mind. But a real fight, no, I'm not doing no more real fights. And he's not either, not with him. And my weight is too much anyway for a real fight. So, but an exhibition, if you want to do that, I would, of course, if the fans wanted to see it and we make it worth our while, of course I'd do it. Other than that, I'm not sure.
Well, Roy, it's Friday night. I want to leave you to enjoy the rest of your time here in London over the weekend, of course, beyond that. I appreciate all your time. I appreciate you keeping in touch with me from Texas, and I will do so moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.